Hello, everybody. Christopher's not paying attention.
Yes,
That's how we like to start our show.
Guys. I'm
He's
sorry.
not even ready at the start.
This
is the Headspace Podcast, the show where we break down new hip-hop albums track by track, go through them, give our thoughts, our opinions, our ideas as we walk through this journey, as we dream in a ville. Because it's, instead of Revenge of the Nerds, Revenge of the Dreamers 3. And yeah, that's what we're talking about today. My name is Holden Stephan Roy.
My name is Chris Kream.
And today we'll be talking about Dreamville, Revenge of the Dreamers 3, like I just said. But it's good to say it a lot, because Google scans the first 3 minutes, and it turns out if you don't cuss in the first 3 minutes of a video, you can kind of get away with cussing in the rest of the video. You people out there making your real reactions and stuff so that you get the knowledge as we learn. Because sharing is caring, motherfuckers.
I agree.
Oh, I just messed that up. Hopefully this video doesn't get dinged because sadly, our MGK review that we did recently got dinged, even though it actually kind of did well. However, I like the comments, so I'm going to segue to that. We're doing our intro bit. You can skip that shit by checking the description of the video. And this is probably part 1, because we're going to talk a lot. And we're testing a 2-part method. So you'll be able to let us know what you think of that, too. If you'd prefer 1, a long-ass video, or 2, kind of still long-ass videos, but not as long-ass. So you get to complete it easier and feel more accomplished as a person, which I understand.
Or you can just separate it on different days if you don't want to listen to us all.
I don't know, man. It's just the testings and stuff. Like, do you feel like if you saw hour 20 versus 2 hours 40, which would you be more inclined to click on? Would that be a decision that comes into it? Because we're trying to grow, and this kind of feedback is hella crucial, because this show, as much as it's for us, is for you too. And we care a lot about the comments, is what I'm trying to say. So we're also not professionals. We're just people who are trying to learn how to turn this into something all on our own. Some cats up in the 514, which is Montreal. What? We got the island shit up in here. It's a northern island in the middle of Quebec. It's true, though. We live on an island. And anyway, so I've done a lot of reviewing in the last, whatever. It's been a pretty hectic, whatever. It's the 6th of July today, just Saturday. And between when I finished work on Friday, which was yesterday, I got through 3 albums. I got through fucking MGK's, like I said, Hotel Diablo, which was fresh. Got that review out today. Got through the West Side Gun, fucking Fly Guy's an Awesome God, of which we got a fresh ass comment from So Many Thoughts. And you gotta understand, this comment came like 34 minutes ago in real time for us, even though it says 7 minutes ago in this thing. So fresh, practically new comment. Happy to see you've caught the Griselda bug. I have. Chris is dodging it. I don't know why, man. Griselda's fucking dope. That's all I'm trying to say. There's a lot of context to understanding everything West Side Gun raps about, and it's always purposeful and relevant. I completely missed like 2/3 of the references, but like you could just tell that everything made sense if you were to catch that shit. So I hope somebody takes some time to break some shit down for me and I can educate, I don't live that life, just saying. I live a different life. But to understand the parallels helps us all grow and connect. Anyway, in my experience, often when I re-listen to their music, I pick up on things that went over my head in the past, which is how you know this shit's fresh and worth listening to. And that seems to be the case for every single song there, so I could talk about these guys all day. Listen, Chris has heard about Benny Butcher for a quick minute. Now he's going to be hearing about West Side Gun too. I'll stop there. You can keep going, my friend. If you watch this, you can comment as much as you want. I enjoyed the review. Thanks, homeboy or homegirl. It's fascinating seeing someone really break down the album. Thanks. That's what we do here. And make sense of it from another view. Peace, my man or woman. I don't know, but thank you. You're amazing people, and I love these comments. They make it worth doing this. Don't you agree, Chris? Hearing people read it,
I do agree.
Appreciate it.
I really do enjoy the interactions of being able to go back and see through the comments and really get other opinions and perspectives, because we've said this multiple times, and it's really, really true for us that it helps us grow and understand more. Like we said, we don't you guys coming to this album probably have followed J. Cole and a lot of these other artists on this project since the beginning, or maybe have stumbled upon different albums.
Hold up, before we get to that, special thanks to the patrons: Ismail Gadamsi, Chris Pryor, Jonathan Burns, DJ Black, Hurricanes, Lindo Wellens. We shut them out at the beginning before we start the episode, and now we're going to start the episode for reals. We're going to be talking about what album, Chris?
So for episode 131 of the Headspace podcast, we're doing...
episodes.
Dreamville's project, Revenge of the Dreamers 3.
Awesome. Go back to what you were saying.
Well, I was just saying, it's the community that we're trying to, I guess, build in a way is a really big type of conversation and understanding a lot of these hip hop artists and a lot of just wanting to connect with you guys as viewers and even as fans in a way, because I'm pretty sure I can say this, we're both fans of hip hop here, and we really want to understand what it is that these artists have communicated to you, taught you, touched you in a way, like just what did these artists do for you guys as well as we're expressing what they've done for us on our reviews.
That's amazing. So we like to start it off, though, just kind of following up on that, contextualizing how familiar we are with the artists that we discuss and just everything in general, because it's important, right? If you're a fan of Dreamville from the beginning and you listen to Revenge of the Dreamers 1 and 2 and, you know, you've been following J. Cole since back in the day and you've been, like, committed and hooked on a journey, and all of these different cats, you've been listening to their solo projects, etc., 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 you're going to feel a certain way. Whereas if maybe you haven't done all of that, you're going to feel a different way. So I think it's fair to you, the viewers, if we take some time just to tell you about our relationship with the artists and expectations almost going into this before we kind of get into it through the track by tracks. And for myself, at least, I know who J. Cole is for a while. We've reviewed a few of his albums now at this point. We reviewed Baz's album. We reviewed Jid's albums. I'm going to call him Jid because I think he's cooler if he sounds like Jid. Little Jedi mind tricks. Anyway, basically, so I feel like we've kind of dabbled in a few of their, like, some of these artists that have been affiliated with Dreamville and thus heard a little bit of the sample of what the overall label sound is over the last year or so. But in general, outside of J. Cole, right, there's almost nobody else in Dreamville as on the label that I'd heard of. In fact, I didn't even realize he had a label until, like, all of a sudden Baz and Jid and them started appearing, you know?
For me, I felt like I've always understood that Dreamville was the label in terms of, like, his label, but I think that this project itself is more of just like a...
Yeah, absolutely. Well, so this project itself is a little bit different. You'll see there's a little documentary, I know I say the word wrong, that they posted on the Dreamville YouTube channel. I think I'll link it below if you want to check it out. It's actually like a good 30 minutes. But when I say a good 30 minutes, I mean it's super enjoyable because the concept of how this album was created is something I really want to see replicated even in Montreal, so I can show up and be part of it. You know what I'm saying? Don't you want to show up at the Montreal one? But they basically got this, like, studio that was significant to J. Cole, a big old house, studio like rooms everywhere, 30 people all over, you know, and then it's like this open invitation to a whole bunch of people, beat makers, engineers, rappers, singers.
Well, it's mostly, it's not like, it's mostly anybody can come through and do what they want, but it's I guess a lot of people that they really
anybody like, that can come through within reason. So like they kind of alluded that a couple of people did show up and just like earn their place, but mostly it felt like you had to get an invitation to come on through. But they sent it out to like this ridiculously large number of people. So yeah, all sorts of people roll on through. Guys like Mike Will made it. Anyway, sorry. And plenty of other dudes. Kendrick shows up. T.I. is clearly there. These guys that are on this album. But a whole bunch of folk kind of roll through from huge names to Buddy. Now, Buddy is the highlight of this fucking little documentary series video, in my opinion, because... So it kind of turned into like a Wu-Tang camp. What I mean is they had a whole bunch of rappers and producers and engineers, and everybody's just kind of fighting now to be the best because there's all these people, but there's only so many slots available.
I don't think it's to be the best. I think it's really just to be on the project.
Which means if there's 9 rappers in the room, your verse has to be in the top 3-4 verses in that room. Fair. So you're watching all these dudes walk around kind of like, yo, it was kind of hard. It was kind of scary. It was kind of challenging. Man, Just didn't even know where to go to record. And then there's Buddy. Buddy's like, I just everywhere. Jump into the room, write a verse, get on it, maybe sticking my finger in her butt or something right off the jump. I don't know, man. Buddy, because he sounds great on the album, but just seeing how the way he approached this with the thirst of his opportunity and how he took advantage, like, I would say, from what I could tell, Buddy is the hungriest guy of all the guys in that room. J. Cole's kind of there. He's like, yeah, I went from being the boss to taking the boss hat off. Then I was the rapper guy again, and I started rapping.
I mean, it's a little bit different than that. He was explaining how it's a little bit difficult to kind of do something like this from his standpoint because he
was wearing two hats, being the boss. So when he stopped being the boss, he could rap again. That's exactly. Anyway, I thought it was really worth it, and it kind of makes the project feel a little more special. Like, it's a little bit just bigger than just J. Cole and his people. But let's not be delusional here. This is a Dreamville project, and it's really good for J. Cole and his people, but it's also really good for a bunch of people who came through and collaborated in ways that never would have happened if this hadn't happened. So I think it would be just kind of amazing. Like, I don't know, California does one, this one does one, everybody does one. We just keep making these kinds of albums and kind of show what cooperation can do, because what's really significant is in January of this year, for 10 days, like 100 people easy rolled on through a little house and they made an album in 10 days. That's pretty incredible. So I think that's what we're talking about, and it's pretty dope. On that note, the album's called Revenge of the Dreamers 3, so it's the third part of the series and the first one with this open-ended thing. And the album cover was shot by a dude from fucking Montreal. I can't remember his name, but it's shot by a guy from Montreal, so that's really amazing because we're from Montreal. So the fact that somehow Montreal ended up being part of this project, that's amazing to me. And yeah, it's kind of like movie-esque, and it's got Revenge at the top and 3 on the bottom, and then it's black, and it does so very little to me, but it does feel very movie-esque and very big theatrical, but oh, the parental advisory sticker seems to not be white. It seems to be yellow, at least in the picture I'm seeing. Yeah, no, it is yellow. That's cool. There you go. There's something to talk about. Have you seen yellow ones before? Aren't they? There you go.
No.
Do I have? No, I got nothing more here. Do you have more here?
It's a very simple album cover. I think it really just kind of states the point. It says Dream Revenge.
It just says Revenge, and it's got the 3 on the other half of it. It really looks like clip art. I'm not even gonna lie.
Yeah. It's fairly simple, but I think it brings the point though. I think that they're not trying to make it too complicated. They wanted to make the album cover very simple so that it really reflects just the album itself. Once we get into it, I'll kind of explain it more. But like once you re-listen to the project, the album cover for me kind of just fits. Like, you don't have to have this really exploding cover. This was like right to the point. This is who we are.
Had a picture of the house. Just like a picture of the house from the outside.
Yeah,
that would have been fresh. Anyway, we can dream all we want, but we can't have everything under the sun.
Nothing new under the sun. Nobody fucking with.
Here we go, everybody. The adventure starts. It's got a little bit of a sample going on. Do we know what it is? I can't tell. It doesn't have it on Genius. It's If You Miss Me and You Can't Find, and it's kind of whatever, and it's playing in, and it sounds real swell. And then Jermaine comes. I done seen it all. My God. Yeah, I done seen it all. My God, I swear. And these are the illustrious first words that we hear off of this album as legend J. Cole commences his verse. But before I get into anything, Chris, show the people that it's not just that I talk a lot and that you say everything you gotta say.
It's a strong start. I really like the introduction to this album and what they're bringing. The beat is very, very smooth. It's got this positive feel to it. It's got this happiness feel to it. It's not really like this heavy kind of going in type beat, but it does kind of lift you up a little bit and kind of take you out of where you're at. J. Cole comes in on the first verse.
That he does.
And so before I get into the actual verses, I do want to just talk about the song. I feel like the song Under the Sun is kind of just them expressing how they've always kind of been the same on this grind and trying to like keep that originality with themselves is what I'm feeling. You kind of get this aspect that things haven't really changed over the years. So for like in verse 1 from J. Cole, he goes, I got a couple of sons, a couple of guns, a couple of people that bust up the party, that fuck up the fun. But the way he's saying this, it's like not only is he kind of solidifying this, like I'm connected, I've got connections, like you don't really want to kind of fuck around, but it also has this tone of I've always been able to do this. This is something that growing up I've known these people, I've known these type of guys or whatnot. Which is what started to make me kind of think about like what he's really trying to say. He then kind of switches into where he is now and I guess how like his mentality is. He goes, and M is my minimum wage. This ain't no kennel. Behave. People is with all that barking. We send them to stray. So in a way, we the dog catchers. Which I thought that was a really cool...
Hold on. You gotta keep this going because he basically keeps that dog shit running for the rest of the verse, and that's actually just fresh. How many bullets your dog catching? Sawed off raw dog fashion. Hot off hope God catch him. Damn, because God is kind of like dog in spelling. Mm-hmm. Just gotta throw it out. It's really cool to me when a rapper can successfully do something like for 7 lines, kind of keep the little narrative running. Not a lot of guys are willing to push it like that. Meanwhile, making his use of dog and everything here kind of convey a completely different point. I didn't mean to cut you off. I guess I really do talk a lot. Go, Chris.
No, it's totally cool. I was just gonna say that it's cool to see how like he kind of held on to this mentality of making this type of money and how to like the way that he uses for me in terms of like how he's telling people how to behave. If you ain't gonna act right, he's gonna send you off like a stray dog, and that's how I liked how he played that. Like he wants people who know how to kind of maintain their composure and be able to be at kind of his level of whatever loyalty, respect, or even just maturity and growth. So that was something really cool. First time around, I didn't notice, but second time, Kendrick's on the chorus.
It wasn't even. Okay, I'm not gonna lie. I thought it was Jid.
I thought it was J. Cole.
I thought it was Jid because Jid kind of sounds a little bit like Kendrick.
I can hear that.
So I thought that it was just Jid on the chorus, and I didn't even think twice about it. But then I realized when I checked the Genius, because I use the Genius to help me with the features in such a huge way. That is the most useful thing, figuring out who the fuck says what verse. Thank you, Genius. But then I'm like, Kendrick. And yeah, he's there, and he doesn't have credits in an official way. It's supposed to be a little Easter egg surprise. It was. And happened to me too.
It was great. Kendrick's chorus is like, 2 lines?
It's not my favorite part of this song.
I think it actually really hits the nitty gritty of what the song is. Like, I woke up for some money today, and I'm gonna fuck up the next line. Do you have it?
It's, I woke up for some money. Hey, little bitch. Too many options here. Tell me who you with. Hey, something like that. I know I fucked it up, but I'm saying, that's it. And it's like, yeah, it's cool, but
I think that it really kind of solidifies the nothing really changes. They've been waking up every day for some money, so that's like a common narrative, which is cool. And then too many ops in here, tell me who you with. Yeah, it's like thinking of where these guys may come from. Yes,
I don't have to think of where these guys come from.
Of the ops,
everywhere you go in life, man, whatever field you're in, whatever industry you're in.
Fair enough.
The second that the money starts coming into play, like I can tell you one thing, I guarantee you there's at least one person in my office place at work that plots my downfall. I don't know who they are. It's probably not the people I think it is. It's probably somebody I think is my friend and my ally, and they are plotting my downfall right now, which is it's fucked up to think about, but unfortunately, like, there's only going to be so many raises at the end of the year. Right. There's only going to be so many opportunities for growth. And there's only going to be so many whatever. So in some ways, corporate America can be hyper ruthless. So I completely agree with the sentiment of Kendrick's chorus. I just think compared to how fresh all the other verses are, it's whack.
Fair enough. How'd you feel with Lute for verse 2?
Hold up. I guess I'll just comment real quick on J. Cole before we get into Lute. I liked his verse, but... like, he's kind of gotten into this flow, and I know I've seen very split reactions on the internet regarding his current flow, where I'm on team. I find it so hard to get into it. It's not the words he's saying, because the words he's saying are so intelligent and so well written,
Right.
and it's so good. But the way he's saying it is so, gosh, where's the energy? He sounds bored. A little bit. And that's just not, well, it's me and all the people out there who agree with me. And then obviously it's not the people who are going to call me a hater in the comments or whatever. But here's the thing. Like, nothing new under the sun, nobody fucking with sun. That line is brilliant, right? Because everything's kind of the same. And then simultaneously, nobody's fucking with him or his kids or anything like that. I got a couple of sons, a couple of guns. So, you know, it's powerful. But he says it like it's so regular that there's like, where's the passion in it? Where's the energy?
Okay.
Whereas Lute, by contrast, kind of feels like he's got a little more thirst in him. Like, of all the people on this project, J. Cole's the only one who's probably not going to have to try very hard to get his verses on shit.
I mean, yeah.
He had a private room to record it.
Yeah.
Whereas
so
everyone...
there's technically 3 rooms, but technically 2, because there's J. Cole's room and you can't go in there. Or when the guy asked him for a photo and he's like, yo, I'm going to be here. I ain't going anywhere. Like, relax.
Yeah. So anyway, what I thought was most interesting about Lute is because sometimes it's fun to see like you're going to have the same conversation. So I just talked about West Side Gun literally today, the same day I'm recording this review, and talked about how potatoes are used as silencers over guns in the other review. And here we are starting off with potatoes being used in silencers over guns because he moves in silence, because be clocking my funds when they should keep an eye on their bitch because they baby girl coming with son. And it's kind of like people are focusing.
Hold on, wait.
People be judging my moves.
Okay, yeah, you're going on.
Please tell me what have you done. My cousin, my arrow at the party for fun, pistol. Anyway, that's not that interesting to me. The rest of it,
I just like the part where he ends with "What have you done?" Like I like how he's kind of calling people out on that line. Like
that's
everyone's
very
got
fair.
a lot of shit to say. Like,
well,
you this,
like,
you that, and it's
after
like,
that, it was like, okay, the Liam Neeson line's okay, but
fair.
No, but like the sentiment here of how people are watching him, I'm focusing on him, I'm paying attention to him, but meanwhile, their girl might be doing whatever and their situation's not proper is a common sentiment in life. It's called haters, and he's basically eloquently and fun like telling the haters to fuck off with his potato silencer. Do a lot of y'all, look, I don't want y'all to confess to some shit that you can't, but like, do y'all really use potatoes as silencers in the hood? Is that like for reals? Because it's just twice in the same weekend that it came up for me. I'm super curious. I live in Montreal. There's not that many shootings up in here that I've heard of or whatever. It's not like I can go talk to people and be like, do you use potato guns? So hopefully somebody can answer that in a non, like, you know, whatever. You've heard of a story kind of thing. You know what I'm saying? It's cool. I don't know. What did you think of Lute?
Well, I like that entire line because how he uses the myth of putting a potato on the gun and moving in silence because people are blocking his funds. It's like that realization that, you know what, the way I kind of took it was I used to be out here making loud movements. Now that people are starting to like fuck around and act shady, I'm gonna keep it to myself and just move in silence like the code is from every other artist I've heard from. I like when he follows up though and goes, put some respect on my name.
Gosh, why does that have to keep coming? I feel like we just most recently talked about how that was a thing.
I think, okay, so there's a lot of actual things on this album that I'm gonna get to once we get to them, but I think that there's a trend of and I want to say for clout, for clicks, for views, for listens.
Why the Birdman thing specifically?
Because it's popular. Like everyone still says it. Even
that's
today, like people
at
work, they'll make the joke like, "Yo, put some respect on my name." And I'm like,
here's what I'm trying to say: is once the people in call centers are saying it, right? No disrespect.
No, of course.
But like once the people in like all the environments are saying it, it's time for rappers to stop saying it to be fresh, because it's not fresh no more. It's a little stale.
So I'm gonna counter that with, if he's literally so here's what I'm gonna say, right? So let's read the whole bar. Put some respect on my name. What side of my city I claim. I try to stay in my lane. Took my advance and put a cold piece on them things. I bet he forward to the wheels fall off.
Let me ask you a serious question.
Hold up. When you put it all together, I can understand what he's trying to say. Like, he's literally just saying, put some respect on my name. We're just all associating it with the Birdman thing.
No, because that's it. It's done. You can't say put some respect on my name like that and it not go to everybody thinking of Birdman no more.
I mean, I understand. Yeah.
All I'm saying is there's a gajillion fucking ways to say some shit. But, like, wasn't it just, like, last week or the week before we just had this conversation about Birdman?
Yeah, but that person used, like, the respect. Like, he like, he mocked Birdman.
Doesn't matter. I'm saying for me, if I'm noticing the patterns, I'm noticing the patterns. That was the not coolest line of the whole verse. Everything else was fine, and I liked Lute except for that line.
Well, a rapper I haven't heard from ever, and I haven't really been interested in listening to.
DaBaby was pretty fucking cool, and I kind of want to listen to more DaBaby now.
But
I hate his name. Don't you hate his rap name?
That's kind of why I kind of went, I don't really want to do this.
But there he is, and it sounds good.
So I just put diamonds all in my teeth. Now they probably think I ain't intelligent.
Yeah,
and
that's true. I know the people who think that he ain't intelligent. And I'm
right?
like, they're fucking morons, but this is a real thing.
In the homicide unit interrogation, asking questions, you know I ain't telling them shit.
So he has diamonds on his teeth, and he's not a snitch, so he follows the code and does it proper.
Bitches call me a jock, all American. I'm at the top of my class with my letterman. I remember back in college, bitches knocking on my dorm door. I ain't never let them in. I really like that part because it's like he really shows that he didn't have time for anything.
But it's also kind of cool in just the rhyming, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, the girls like him and they want to bang him and stuff and whatever. But he's focused on his studies and shit, and he's turning down the easy supply of the vaginas that are showing up for him to intercourse with him on the regular in the pursuit of bigger and better things. Therefore, DaBaby knows what's up.
This song is great. It's a really strong start off to the album.
Hold on. DaBaby also goes no back and forth with these rappers. They mention me, dissing me, no talking back. I won't mention you. Watch when I come put the iron up your ass on tip. They're gonna watch me. They're gonna want me to snitch in my interviews. I'm on fire, bitch. I'm laying, bro. I'm really cool. Nah, it's just shrimps when they ridicule. So what they're saying here is that people out there in the whole world of the hip-hop universe are talking a little bit of shit about a guy whose name is so ridiculous. How could you not want to make jokes about him? Unfortunately, you chose that name, DaBaby. But getting past that, his rapping is pretty solid, so I'm kind of supporting him. I'm on board DaBaby. But still, DaBaby has a problem with the way that people are coming at him. But instead of responding to the petty garbage or engaging into interviews like let's say a DJ Vlad, where somebody on his team will be like, DaBaby, how did you feel about this person who said this about you? Cuts on over to that other interview. So, what do you think about DaBaby? DaBaby's a piece of shit. I want to fucking kill him. Blah, 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 blah. Cut back to DaBaby. Man, that's some whack shit, Vlad. Why are you showing me this? Is that not kind of sometimes how it'll go on a DJ Vlad interview? Yeah. I like Vlad. He's fun. So, I mean, I look at it like that was some real shit. Like, the fact is he's in this for the craft. He's doing it really well. And he's not interested in the fucking nonsense. So, all things considered, my first DaBaby verse, I think DaBaby had the verse of this track. He took it.
Really?
DaBaby took it for me.
Lute.
DaBaby took it from me. I can't even believe I'm saying that.
DaBaby took it from you, Holden.
I know.
You got robbed by a kid.
But all things considered, 4.35. The beat's not 100% my cup of tea. It's well made, beautifully produced. Not the style I'm going to vibe to as much as others, but I respect it. But it's a 4.35 for me. It's a strong start, and it does make me want to know what the rest of this album is going to be like.
Well, it's a 4.35 for me as well. I agree. I think it's a really strong start to the album, and it really kind of contextualizes. And I think something that really stuck with me was I feel like they're speaking for the whole group. Like, part of this is that, yes, it's 3 individual artists, or 4 technically individual artists, but they're all speaking for this whole project. Everybody on this project has, I feel, kind of assimilates to the same mentality. The way that they kind of, they ain't fucking with us. We the best. People talking shit. Like, just the different artists come from a different, their verses all have different parts of the same narrative, which is really, really cool.
Okay, on that note, why don't we talk about how when you swallow liquid down the wrong hole and start choking and shit, you can say that it goes down bad.
Fuck a cap and gown, fuck a background, check background. When I get the check, nigga, that's now. I was just fucked up.
Allow me to be clear about one thing. The way I felt about Michi Darko in fucking Beast Coast being the greatest of that group is how I feel about Jid on this motherfucker. On this whole album. Doesn't matter who's there, Jid takes it. Jid's the coolest. I really like him. Check out DiCaprio 3 if you haven't checked it out. Check out a review of DiCaprio 3 if you haven't checked it out. On that note, Chris, how do you feel about this banger? Does it... Fuck it, right off the jump, I'm just like...
Just start it, dude.
Doesn't it just make you want to, like, fucking, like, pump your arm like that?
Yeah, it has
but
that really intensified beat.
It makes me want to find a car, because I don't have a car. It makes me want to buy a Tesla 3, like the $50,000 Tesla.
Okay, I see.
So I could be cruising down in my geeky ass car, cruising up the window, going like, "Yeah, I'm the king of the E."
There is this sound that I kind of have with the beat, and it's like this like skirting sound, but it's like.
No, but it's really it's Jid's verse. Okay, Lil Dirty, nappy headed East Atlanta. Father said that I had a Force 44, Hank Aaron Chrome, want to make a home. Then got the Porsche, let it cover fade. For I had to fade it. To the fader fort. It's a lot. It's not the easiest thing to say out loud. I thought it would be easier. I know that sometimes I embarrass myself on these things. Either way, for one thing, young Nudy starts out the track. I'm not sure who he is, but he comes in and he says, "Get this bitch screwed like the DJ." And I thought that was a clever line because of DJ Screw and his cultural significance. And if you know about me, you know that I like it when the young rappers are calling out the old people who are culturally significant because that's a cool thing to do. So props to young Nudy for taking that shit up. But fun fact, his verse got cut. And like he cuts it off. His verse kept going, and that shit got leaked after the fact, but that wasn't his full verse. And I kind of get it a little bit because like while it's a pretty strong start, it doesn't have like a lot of it's going anywhere, and that's okay because it's a really strong start. And I thought it was cool. Like, we gonna chop your ass up just like some sushi is a pretty good line. AK-47 stick goes stupid, draw the money out all the way. Okay, little happy, and then you're like, yeah, Jid. And this, I'm sorry, but the energy Jid brings to this track is absolutely ridiculous and fun. And then in the middle of it, he says, like, I was just fucked up. I was just down, bad. I had to tighten the fuck up. Ooh. But I'm here for the crown. Board of Education versus Brown. Ooh. I'm like, what? Like, again, in the middle, it's like, go Google that thing so you know what the fuck I'm talking about. It's kind of... Good. You should know what that is. Good. Your mama... See? Jid taught Chris. And that's powerful shit because it's important stuff. Even though it's discussed in the autobiography of Malcolm X, which Chris finished reading. He read that motherfucker. And y'all should give him a kudos because that is a really long-ass book if you've ever read it. And it's kudos to Chris. Absolutely an important book to read, I think. Either way, yeah, Jid's verse is just ridiculous.
Well, I like how he continues off with, so he goes Board of Education versus Brown, addressing like how the school system is kind of fucking up with like
it's the court case that ended desegregation.
I know it's the court case that ended desegregation.
Or segregation, but that made desegregation happen.
The way that I'm kind of looking at it is that he's bringing light to like the black communities, the brown communities, and how their educational system is not like as up to par. Like, kind of, I feel like that's what he's trying to say as well. Like, the Board of Education in 2019 is still not up to par with our cultures and our societies.
But I think he's just pointing out that from that point, great that maybe it happened, but he's Board of Education, left the town, fuck a resume, fuck a cap and gown, fuck a background check. Background when I get the check, that's now.
Right, and that, so I like
he's
that.
He's kind of like transitioning that even though this happened and I had the opportunity to go to school, we'll say, it doesn't matter. Fuck all of that crap, all this institutionalized bullshit. I'm gonna pave my own way in life.
Well, yeah, exactly, and that's what I really liked about Jid is that he kind of realized that like at a young age that he was like, yo, fuck it, I'm gonna go do what I need to do.
But I also like the fact that he's saying at a young age, I was just fucked up. I was just down bad. I mean, to me, that comes off like I was young. I was doing some stupid shit. I made some bad choices. And then what does he do on this hook here? I mean, again, Jid does the hook. You know this song's a banger. I had to tighten the fuck up, but I'm here for the crown. Oh, shit. And then it just sounds like he fucked up the line a bit, but in a cool way. Mm-hmm. But, yo, it's nice, man, because he's saying, like, look, man, I tried. It didn't work the way I wanted. I had to get better to come back and do it. And then Baz comes in, and like, I like Baz, don't get me wrong, but I feel like whoever followed Jid on the song, on the exception of Buddy, because Buddy, just spoiler alert, he could follow Jid really well. It just didn't feel the same. in my heart and soul.
Well, I like when he said, I was just fucked up. I was just down bad.
But
picked up
even the way he said it, he says it Baz-like, which is cool.
But Baz has this, like, kind of nonchalant, laid back type
And I
of
like
life.
it
Like,
in
he
this.
just, like,
I get it. But we just had Jid, okay? I know what I'm saying, people of the internet. Picked up the pad, picked up the slack, picked up the litter, don't litter, no bag. Bassy been picking up racks, raps coming cleaner to AccuView 2. And I'm back in the booth, got him hacking the shot because they lacking the juice.
Good!
It's good.
I mean, it does kind of sound a little bit like anybody could have maybe said
It's like
it.
a slower, like he was trying to. And I'm not trying to talk shit. I feel like I'm not coming off like I'm talking shit. I'm super sorry for any kind of negativity. He sounds amazing. My whole point was literally Eminem could have come after Jid and I would have been like, fucking Eminem just isn't doing what Jid did. And I was loving what, because I'm a little bit like thinking Jid is one of my new favorite rappers in terms of this newer age of people coming out. Of the guys we've recovered, it's like Flatbush Zombies, Benny the Butcher, and Jid. That's my current like new age top 3 guys right now.
Nice.
Anyway, I don't know, but his verse was really good. Don't get me wrong. Lyrically, he's proper. Dreamville, like Marion Jones on the steroids, y'all slow as a heroin high. Y'all had a year, but you let it go by. And I was like, I guess, but like Griselda's been fucking killing it all year. And like the Beast Coast Boys just dropped a shit that was pretty fucking fresh this year.
But I don't think I think he's like really just distinguishing like the people who like kind of hate on these guys and kind of just like talk shit. It's like, well, yo, y'all had a year. The fuck did you do? Of course he pays. I assume he does pay his respects to the ones who actually drop shit and whatnot.
I feel like J. Cole and like his squadron here are coming through, and this is like a takeover. Like, remember how like Funk Volume had their year, and everybody seems to have years. Well, this is the Dreamville year where they're gonna come on through, and they're probably gonna drop a bunch more projects and take over charts and be significant.
I mean, speaking of J. Cole, something he said in his verse was, the poverty stains kept the pain buried and covered the shame with a dream we would have fortune and fame. And then I think that line really just kind of suits with what you were saying in terms of their movement. Like, yeah, so the song itself overall really talks about like they were in struggles, they had like issues, they were going through problems, made bad decisions, whatnot, and they used whatever avenue they could to get out of it and be successful and make it out of that life and start something different. So yeah, that message is very core in the song, but I think that really ties in what you're saying in terms of coming at it for like wanting to make this movement and wanting to like really move with this idea that everybody can dream and really try to get out of their problems.
I feel like J. Cole is cool. He's basically like, hey, I'm rich now. Look at that. I was poor. Now I'm comfortable being rich. Like, it took him a while to be like a little comfortable with it. And I kind of like the part where he's like, Ville person, I was born in the same pressure cooker that's been known to bust a lump of coal and make a diamond. It's not very original, but I love that metaphor, and anybody can use it, and I'm going to think it sounds good, because it is such a powerful idea of just how something like a piece of coal can turn into something beautiful like a diamond. 2-6, we enrolled in Reaganomics, and that's, again, a powerful statement, you know, just in terms of the era he grew up with and the absolute bullshit that came through the 80s situation in the hood. And then Crew Sick, with the golden state of rhyming on God. And that's where I'm like, a couple of y'all are actually, like, next level, right? But it's hard for me to go and say that in the big scheme of all of the things going on that anybody's calling Dreamville the greatest. This album may do a lot to get buzz. Don't even get me wrong. Right. I find it super fucking enjoyable, but like I said, we reviewed Baz and Jid. It wasn't like we were getting roads of people. I put out an MGK review and people fucking clicked on that. MGK can make some claims, like he's got a fucking fan base that's like invested. I mean, it's not about us. It's just you can look at the numbers, which kind of give you an idea of interest in things. Whether the numbers don't mean a lot, but they do tell in terms of like money, we'll say. But they can give you an idea like how many people clicked on it. Don't get me wrong. This is the hottest album this week. Everybody fucking knows. Everybody knows. That's cool. But it's mostly the J. Cole part that I think is there, with like Jid is the number 2, and then maybe Baz, and like I haven't.
So
and then the guest features.
What I'm understanding is we're listening to it because of J. Cole, Jid,
Absolutely.
and Baz. Like, it's not that we're dismissing the features,
Yeah,
but
not at all.
when you asked me, and I'm going to say this, when you asked me, Chris, it's time for you to pick the fucking review this week,
Well, which one you wanted to
there
do?
was no, for me, there was no question. I was like, dude, we're doing Dreamville.
Why?
Like, J. Cole, Jid, and I'm not going to say that I thought of Boz right away, but J. Cole and Jid are the two for me that stand out.
And
And
then
it's like,
I didn't even know about the guest features and all of that when we picked the album. I just knew that this was a J. Cole project. I wanted to hear it. I just figured that, I'm actually surprised by the quality of it. And I know we're just having a little critical side conversation here, and maybe it comes off a certain way, but I think it's just an interesting thing to talk about, and I'd love to hear all of your thoughts. Either way, J. Cole's verse again follows through with not being as good. Don't get me wrong. I think Baz, Jid both take it over J. Cole in this verse. I'm not certain about Johnny Venus, but I think he kills it too. I think it's really well. He's about on par with J. Cole for me on this one. And that's cool. You could die today, so be hell to pay. I'm a living, breathing, scheming testimony, so don't test me. Homie, put that in ya. Homie, put a foot up to ass you a stepping stone. On my ain't getting no sleep. On my be chasing the dreams. Oh, I'm a force of nature. I can't wait to date ya. I was having problems until I had to break through. And as I listen to this, what I can say is, it's really, he's got a great voice, but the distinction isn't 100% there. I believe he's part of Earthgang, and I think he sounds really cool. And I do believe that there are other songs on this album where Johnny shines a lot more than he does here. Either way, this song was amazing to me, and I give it a 4.75 on 5 because the beat's also really cool. And my excitement for this project went right the fuck up. So anything that you thought of me trying to be a hater was more me just saying everybody pales in comparison to Jade. No, but for real, everybody was fresh and tight on here. J. Cole is maybe the only reason it got a 4 point. He's missing that 0.25 because J. Cole has not really stunned me yet on this album. Everybody else is blowing my fucking mind.
fair enough. For me, the song got a 4.3. I like it. I think it's really solid. I just... Two of the verses, I'm not really enjoying as much as the others. I think J. Cole's was good. I really liked his like hyped up, I'm rich now, and all this type of attitude. Kind of playing that role, like, because everyone else on the song is playing the role, I felt like, of I came from struggle, this is where we're at now, and J. Cole kind of just went like, this is where I'm at now, kind of giving them that hope and that inspiration. But I didn't really particularly like, overall, I didn't really like Boz's verse. I felt like it was kind of just...
It was well written.
It was well... No, I'm not saying I don't like it. Like, I'm saying, like, it was well written, it was great, it was presented well. Boz is good. I really do like Boz himself, but... just the verse compared to the other verses on the song, I was just like, it doesn't really stand up. And Johnny's verse, I like his cadence and his presentation, but I felt like it was kind of just like, you know, me and the homies are grinding, me and this. There wasn't really much that was said that really popped out for me.
Listen.
But 4.3.
Listen. We gotta talk about the next song on the album. We gotta talk about this little heist that's gonna go down. Cause fuck J. Cole, fuck Top Dog. Let's talk about LamboTruck.
About popping the Glock, but a nigga ain't stupid and I ain't a shooter, but who really is until they provoke.
This song has such a fascinating premise, right? Like as far as song concepts go, this may be the best song concept on this project, in my opinion. So Cozz is a guy who I believe is on Dreamville. He's from the West Coast, so that's cool because they're both West Coast dudes. Reason who's on Top Dog and Cozz, but basically they both feel on this song like they're a little bit second tier artists on the lineup, and they're not feeling it. They're not feeling the love, you know. Like, look at Cozz. Oh, yeah, look, great. Looking great, but feeling bummy. I just ate, but I'm still hungry. I got something, but it ain't nothing. Brother tummy isn't chubby. Bills like nymphos, they keep coming. Always something, something, something. So, you know, we're getting a guy who's a little bit maybe not winning like everyone else is winning here, but he's still on the team and whatnot. And now he's hit up Reason, and he's going to see how he's being treated over at Top Dog because he's been scheming, and Schoolboy just dropped Give Me the Q, which is a cool fucking line because, you know, instead of saying Schoolboy Q, it's like he dropped his album. What's up? You know, how's your shit going?
Right.
Oh, Sis is getting all his stuff, and K-Dot's there, and J-Rock's whatever, and everyone else is moving stuff, and then he's kind of like... you know, what's going on your end? And then he points out, I talked to Baz, we're feeding for more. We tried talking to Cole, he's too busy, he's not around. And then you just picture the environment where it's like this hectic house, and maybe these two guys are just like, we want to get on a song too. Nobody's letting us get on a song. Everyone's too busy giving Jit all the verses. Buddy's running around doing verses. And then they like rub this whole thing.
Like that I'd be like, well, are you like walking in the studio? It's like, yo, I'm on this track, or like,
I don't know.
You
but
know,
it kind of
like,
felt like in general, like whatever.
Yeah.
And then Childish Major does his little chorus, which is fine. It didn't do a whole lot for me.
Wasn't the strongest chorus.
It's not my favorite chorus, but in general, like it still was okay. Like you listen to it, it vibes well, but like, Then you get into Reason's verse where he's like top dog and the Dreamers can't even believe it's happening, you know? And then I like when he goes, people took shots, plenty, South Park, Kenny, I don't die. Because Kenny dies, but he doesn't like die. So he's obviously not winning. He keeps bouncing back. I'm not going to slide on you, my people. We going to slide, make a living. Staying posted like I'm Diesel. This no sequel. This that third time's a charm. I've been charming. Cozz, been evil. Yeah, you know, and then like he's kind of connects him with the next dude and just points out maybe things aren't perfect, but we coming back. We're going to get it. And then they start kind of debating throughout the next verse. He's trying to get Cozz to go out there and basically rob J. Cole, who's coming with all the rich dudes in his squad in a Lamborghini truck. And then Cozz is like, I can't rob J. Cole, he's my dude. How about we go rob Top Dog? He's like, I can't rob Top Dog, that's my dude. And then they come to the conclusion that Cozz should rob Top Dog, and then Reason should rob J. Cole and his squad, and then they should share the spoils of robbing their various label owners. And all things considered, when you get to the end of it, and you're just sitting there going, man, this is a pretty fucking cool thing. Like, he's like, this is a really cool song. Like, when you realize what's happening here, compared to almost everything else on this album, I think it's definitely one of the more memorable ones, because you're going to remember this song where the two dudes wanted to rob the label owners of the various labels, you know?
It's not, for me, it's not just that. Like, that is a really good point. It's funny how it ends. It's funny how they brought into that argument and it connects. But it also really shows, like, what competition could probably do to some people. It really kind of has this aspect of, like, so after watching the documentary, right, it's like, dude, there's a lot of fucking people in that house, and, like, it's just circulating with, like, in and out of doors and all this stuff. And if you're not, and at one point in the video, I don't remember who said it, but he this guy, I think it's an artist or a producer or somebody, he says it, he's like, there seems to be like way too much competition here for me. Like, I don't know if I can handle it. And that kind of really stuck with me, where, yo, if you have the opportunity to be in this house and you ain't really trying to compete the way like everyone else is competing, when that's what it is, you may feel like how Cozz and Reason are feeling. And I'm not saying that they don't have the right to feel that way. Like, dude, you every right. And I think it's a really cool concept how they expressed both on their verses. Like, Cozz was expressing how he felt about Dreamville, Reason's expressing how he felt about Top Dog, and it's a really cool concept. I don't know. I just kind of feel like, I don't know. I don't actually have much else to say about it. I left it with a 4. It was just that's what I liked.
It's a 4.5. It's a cool song, and it sounded great. The beat was pretty dope. I really enjoyed it, man. I thought it was another great example of the talent of like what was created in terms of its examples. But that's okay. When they hear you saying some stuff, or me saying some stuff, or just in general, their head be all on that swivel.
Learn to make the best out of shitty situation. No complaining, no more Zen. I lead the medicine.
All right, Chris, how do you feel about the Swivelly Swivels?
I think it's actually a cool song. The beat was different, so that was something that really kind of caught my ear right away. Also, this is a Earthgang song off their album that's coming,
Mirrorland.
So this was, I guess, like a cool way for like promotion and trying to get you into who Earthgang is if you've never heard of them, which I really enjoyed it. I like how there is this, I like how, I don't know who the first guy is, I can't remember right now, but he has a raspier voice and it really fits the beat.
Dr. Dot.
Yes, it is. Okay, so I like how Dr. Dot has a really raspy voice and it kind of meshes with the beat really well, and I thought that was really, really cool. And then we kind of get into the verses. Now, my notes are all messed up, and I made a mistake while writing this. But one of the rappers goes, Rappers hella fake, they paper mache like piñata. They can't wait to break, I can animate. Promise mama she gon' see the day when we all okay. All is really take is time and dedication.
Wow, what's really cool is how he makes Promise Mama rhyme with like pinata in the way that he does at the making the front part a diverse rhyme.
There's Johnny.
No, it's Dr. Dot.
Oh.
Which is cool because a lot of people just rhyme like the last part, but to make your punch be at the start of the verse while still have anime, okay, papier mache, we all okay, you know, the way it flows, having the second end of your verse too is really good, you know. Promise Mama, all it really takes, maybe not the closest thing, but he makes it all like flow real nice.
But I like how the song is kind of like giving you this this description of like trouble is anywhere and you need to keep your head on a swivel because at any moment, whether they come from like a certain environment or just in general, you don't know what's happening. You don't know when your last moment could be. You don't know when something could pop off. And it's kind of just this like really, from their perspective, the reasons why they're kind of in a way paranoid in a sense. Like they're kind of always on alert and they really give you their kind of going through certain things. In verse 2, Johnny Venus goes, hell when I was young, I ain't had to pop no guns, nothing. Cracking in the slums you couldn't handle on your own. Shit around my block where we used to knock.
Couple souls fly, wasn't nothing like you guys, which alone, shit, it wasn't nice, wasn't paradise,
like
wasn't lights.
It really kind of shows you like where they come from. Later on in the verse, just to kind of connect it, he goes, I'd rather be dead than to weep and sob, so we solve any major prob with the quick resolve. Had to squab, circle that bitch up, feelings got involved, neighborhood on lock, fuck, we need a cop. Like just both of those lines that I quoted, they really kind of connect in a way where it kind of shows that there's certain shit that he had to go through that, you know, if you weren't able to maintain your own shit, you ain't gonna make it on the streets, you ain't gonna make it on the block. And now that they're on the block and they're doing what they gotta do, it's like shit's starting to, they rather be dead than weep and sob because it's not something they want to portray or present or have them affect. But they're trying to solve it as quick as possible. If that means they have to knock you the fuck out, well, somebody get a cop because you're about to get knocked out. Like, it's really kind of straight to the point, but I like the way that they present it in their flows, and the way that they kind of go at it was really, really cool.
Yeah, I mean, the beat has a very different tone to it. It's a little more wavy. It's a little more spaced out, I find. But it's also darker. And maybe a little less, like, fun than I can say the last couple of songs. And that's totally fine. And I do like the vibe on it. It's a song that the more I listened to it, the more I found it growing on me. At first, I was like, I don't know if I like this. And I can't... Do you remember that Snoop Dogg song, Swivel, 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 that he did on one of his albums that we reviewed? I don't remember which one. But he had a song called Swivel, and I couldn't stop thinking of the way Snoop Dogg was saying it on that particular track as I listened to it.
J-Rock. Like Swivel from J-Rock.
But it's almost like
Vince Staples.
It's just one. That's the thing, is it's one of those words that like so many people have used in the last couple of years to create songs on, that it's like, all right, okay, I mean, it's cool.
It's a different interpretation.
No, but it's almost always the same interpretation. You know, be alert.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not even a different. It's just, it's almost like the fifth or sixth time you come across it, it's a little less cool. And I didn't like the core premise of the song, it took a little hit for me because of that, because I kept thinking, and I even bring up even more examples of other people basically doing the same thing in their own way. I don't know, it's not that this song is bad or anything, it's super fun for me to listen to in terms of the vibe of it, and I inevitably got into it, and I just kind of, you know, vegged out to it, but it's basically, like you said, two dudes expressing how their environment or where they come from is not 100% the best situation. People aren't fucking real. They're legitimate. They're a little paranoid. And I love when Dr. Dot goes, learn to make the best out of a shitty situation. No complaining. No more Xan. I leave the medicine alone. Y'all gonna swear to God that I'm changing for the better. Fuck whoever get the nerve to tell me that I'm wrong. Because even the sentiment of how he's trying to cope with situations in better ways and just make smarter choices, to the point where it's almost like he's making you swear on the fact that he's self-improving, is amazing. And I love that. And I want to absolutely promote and draw attention to that. I just didn't feel this song quite as much as the last one, but it's so well made. The beat in particular, once it grew on me, I found it intoxicating. So I gave the song 4.25 on 5. I can say that if I'm cruising through the album, I'm not going to skip this track. But considering what else is on this album, I might not go out of my way to seek out this track either. On that note, you gave your grade?
I gave it a 4.2.
Do you have more to comment on the Swivel Swivels?
No, it's pretty straightforward. I do want to say that I like how they are their sound that they're bringing to the table. I am a little bit more interested in Earthgang because of other verses and other things on this album, but this song itself, I'm gonna listen to the album. It's not like super strong, but it did give me enough to be like, okay, I'm gonna, when it comes out, I will listen to it.
Absolutely not left with I want to review that album when it drops.
Not a review, but I'm gonna listen to it.
Like, whereas if I'm left with I want to review Jid, or, spoiler alert, I want to review Ski Mask the Slump God.
Oh, yes.
I actually really do, because that happened at the end of this review, which is going to be in part 2. So there is that effect that was given to me, just not from these guys. On that note, oh wow, Swerve!
Guess that's how it goes. Fuck it, what do I know? Ain't been to service since Jim Jones had something with Ho.
So is this the new fad? It used to be slash songs. I forgot what the 3 dots are called. Epsiles or some bullshit. Is that the new way we're calling slashes now, J. Cole? Jermaine, is that what's up? Okay, fine. We'll roll with it. Part 1 of this slash song is called Oh Wow. And then it's got an intro from Zoink Gang, who Chris just informed me we've heard of. And I don't know that I've heard of Zoink Gang, so I'll trust Chris. And who's Zoink?
On one of the many albums we've done, it could have been even the ex J. Cole album, but I've read the name before on one of the reviews.
I can figure this out.
On one song.
So yeah, Zoink Gang starts us off. And how do you feel about this song, Chris, in general?
So I think what they're trying to do.
Holy fuck, it was on Jid's DiCaprio too.
I'm not crazy.
We did know what a Zoink Gang was.
Thank you.
Okay, go on.
So straight off the bat, I like the second half of this song than the first half. Because the second half has like more of a trappier type of like my taste in music feel. But J. Cole did really well.
Oh no, it's because it's never mind. Go on.
So some lines I quoted from J. Cole that kind of stood out to me were "Smoke in my nappy dreads, how you scared to die? Don't believe that lie. I think that everybody happy dead. Hell is a fabricated figment of imagination. I done seen worse for real. Right there off Yadikin on behind gas station." So like right away you're kind of seeing like this really kind of dark depth from where J. Cole is coming from, and how like he's trying to, I guess, embrace death. And because he lives in such a dark world, because people are getting, I guess, fucked up, raped, or anything behind a gas station, he kind of believes that death is a better place because you don't have to live with all these negativities and bad vibes and stuff like that, which I found to be really, really cool. But it also is interesting how it's like got this somber kind of feel to it though, and he's really trying to, I guess, give off this like message, and he's kind of a little bit shocked, like in terms of like, wow, this is really shit that I'm thinking of in a way. I like how he also goes, document my life with rap beats, love songs, favorite albums in years that my homies got blood on these sneakers from bodies that they made of cut. I don't judge no one. I'm just knowing at night when I get quiet that shit could fuck with him. Like, that's some more real shit. And I really like how he said document my life with rap beats, love songs, and favorite albums. Like, that's legit. Like, yeah, that's what artists do, and to bring it out, it was something super cool. I was like, yeah, but we also, as a fan, for me, myself, I'll speak for myself, as a fan, I document my life between, maybe not rap beefs, because I haven't really followed a lot of them, but like love songs and favorite rap albums. Like, hey, if I can't express how I'm feeling, I'll play a song that I'll be like, yo, listen to this, and hopefully you understand how I feel. Like, music really touches people in different ways, and that's something that was really kind of brought to me from J. Cole on this. And then I liked how he is also putting like he's also kind of doing it for his homies and the people that he knows that may have gone down a darker path or something like that. He's trying to put it on for them as well to kind of help them and do stuff. So that kind of like family bond and loyalty was something super, super cool. And then the last line that I liked was, and I feel like the world is ending soon. Is there any good or bad? Well, that's depending on you. And if you wake up in time, I know it's better to sleep. That's why we hate the alarm. I feel you. Like that right there, just that was something I really relate to, kind of like for me, you know, like with just stress and dealing with life and stuff like that, you kind of just, I guess for me, I prefer being asleep because I don't have to worry about anything.
Hold up. Sleeping, if you're dreaming and shit, it's like hallucinating. So in a sense, dreaming is like doing mushrooms and crap. It's basically doing drugs. It's fun, especially when you're in that like half asleep, the alarm's going off and you're snoozing, and you have like 8 mini dreams in an hour, and it's fun times. It's like drugs. But I kind of like that because it's the illusion of how ignorance is bliss, right? But playing into the more realistic thing that most people really they want to sleep and nobody wants to wake up, and so it's relatable, but to also kind of create that double entendre of knowledge and intelligence and just being self-aware inside of this world. But man, you skipped a line. So active on the radio. I'm radioactive person. And then that's a bar I had to give him. So here's the thing I don't understand. What the hell is the purpose of that's a bar I had to give it to him? Why is that lyric there? What is the purpose of it? Like, it was a good bar. So active on the radio, he's radioactive, kind of like that Imagine Dragons song that's slamming and is super powerful, but simultaneously he's like Spider-Man, he's a superhero simultaneously, because technically if you're active on the radio. But what the fuck is that's a bar I had to give him line? That line to me was whack.
Something that okay, so this is something that I kind of interpreted from the documentary. There was a little like some of the producers and J. Cole kind of sit down and they have like this little interview type one-on-one chat. And what J. Cole was saying is like part of the reason he wanted to do this album was because like he wanted to, you know, work with features, and he never really used to fuck with features, and he used to kind of just stick everything to himself and kind of work like that. So I feel like when I heard that, I kind of understand this bar where people have been telling him like, yo, you need to get, let's say on the radio, yo, you need to get features, you need to get this, you need to get that. So the same way that he like addresses people on KOD like, y'all want me to get features but get off my dick or stuff like that, he's kind of saying this now like, yo, I'm on the radio, I'm radioactive, here, I said what you wanted me to say, fuck off now. Like, that's kind of how I'm taking that bar.
Or maybe it's a bar in the sense that he set the standard and he had to be radioactive, so he sets the standard on the bar. As we were talking, I thought that's another way that line could be interpreted. So he's active on the radio, he's radioactive people, that's the bar, the standard he set. That he had
I had to give them the bar of like quality and okay.
Welcome to the Headspace podcast, where sometimes we figure shit out after while contradicting ourselves.
Please let us know in the comments what you think about that bar, because I would really like to know what you guys
Chris
think
skipped
too.
it. That's what's super important here. Overall, like, I feel like again, J. Cole's verse is very well written. The writing and the words and the concepts, you know, are really cool. His delivery is back to that nonchalant, like he's bored or something. I'm gonna probably say it on it's I don't think there's a single J. Cole verse on his album except for one. There's one J. Cole verse where I feel like he sounds like he's passionate about something. So it's just hard for me to get into it. Like, I listened to this multiple times. I probably spent more times re-listening to J. Cole's verse here because I wanted to make sure I understood what the fuck he was talking about, because I was so having trouble listening to it. I wanted to do anything else. A Facebook message popped up. I go talk to that person. I wasn't thinking, focused. Then I'd have to play it back again and play it back again. And that kept happening on this one. And then, honestly, part 2, Swerve, it flows in. If I keep it moving like this, then I'm like, God, happy on the outside, jealous on the inside, and I know it inside out. What this shit here mean? It's the Japanese, huh? I heard that part a lot of times in a row, too, because I kept flipping
I like that part.
it's not my favorite. Like, it's not bad. It's not good. It's just so.
But I like how he's acknowledging that, like, the insecurities on the inside. If I'm insecure on the inside, I know I'm also insecure on the outside because you can't hide that.
Which I appreciate. And the way he flows, it's kind of cool. But maybe it's just because I listened to it so many times in a row. But I like Maxo Kream's verse.
Yes.
I thought he sounded really proper. And on both ends of this track, I think the production and the beat work and everything is stellar. It's really just that hook and J. Cole's delivery that I'm having a little bit of trouble with. But I also know a lot of y'all love J. Cole's delivery for that end, so it's just a preference thing.
Some lines that I quoted from the second part from Maxo Kream. Oh my God. Stephen Curry on my hip, Clay Thomas let it fly, Southwest murder block Crips, we don't die, we multiply.
Who won the basketball this year? The Toronto Raptors won the Canada won the basketball. Go on.
But it's funny because you know how like Stephen Curry is technically a shooter, and like that's also referenced on the. It was dope. Maxo talk a lot of shit, but is he really about that life? Say what? Is a pig's pussy pork and can a caterpillar fly? That's
it's
right.
So good.
Go gadget toting ratchets beam attachment on the side. It's keep a savage that'll blast verses. It. My crash dummies so down the ride.
And then just at the end. Put a brick on your head and you get dropped like Debo. I'm slanging bricks like Craig. Because, again, it's the same fucking line. Yeah. You know, I'm trying to drop these bows.
One more line that I liked. And I really, this is the line that I went, oh, I have to get the back one. So I can't, because he right after he goes, my crash dummy's down to ride. He kind of like says two more lines and goes, so I can't trust you on a lick if you not Nina, Mac, or Tommy. And I was like, hey. That was cool. He only trusts his weapon at his side. He don't trust nobody else.
That's fair. I got this on 4.5. I thought it was pretty fun to listen to and whatnot.
I did like the JID outro. I think the JID outro is what really brings the song together because J. Cole on Oh Wow. Well, J. Cole on Oh Wow kind of also is bringing this like feel of the problems that he may have to go through and some of the issues that maybe he dealt with internally. And then when you go to part 2, yeah, it's got this more gangster trappier type of vibe to it, but it's still like, you know, first off, so I can't trust you on a lick if you ain't Nina, Mac, or Tommy. If you ain't a gun, I don't trust you. That's a problem. Like, if you can't trust somebody but you trust your weapon, like that's an issue. That's something that probably you've dealt with many things and you had to go through. And this is now why you guys and your crash dummies, I love the way he said that. Like, your homies are ready to ride with you because y'all have these problems or you have like these mentalities and stuff like that. And that's what Jid kind of does on the outro. He's like, you know, sorry that I swerved into a car. Sorry that I'm fucked up. But like, I have these problems. My question
is, where's the rest of Jid's verse? I bet the song would have been better if Jid's whole verse was put there.
Just because you're biased.
Yeah, I am.
4.5.
All right. Why don't we move on then and talk about how I shouldn't hit Chris right now?
I was honestly going to hit you.
Don't hit me right now. Don't hit me right now. Don't hit me right now, bitch. I ain't opposed.
Guapdad 4000 is officially my favorite bad rap name. I don't know, man. I know it's probably like a really like sincere, and he's got a chopper and it sings like the opera and he makes it swoon to bitch. They know my name. Who knows your name? I bet some people know your name.
Well, because he fucked Drake out of a bet.
Like, I have no idea what you're talking about.
So go watch Adam 22. Go watch the interview.
I mean Adam 22 is like cool and all, but man, I heard of Guapdad 4000 for the first time today, or like yesterday or whatever. No, probably today. I listened to the album, but I didn't know his name. He just had a chopper and it sings like the opera and whatnot.
And it's swoon, bitch.
I like when it goes, can't hit my phone, I'm on airplane mode, I'm still on 2%. And I thought about the times I was under 5% and I went to airplane mode before I bought a battery pack. Because there's an easy solution to a dying phone unless you're trying not to be found. It's called a battery pack. They don't cost a lot of money. They're pretty cheap.
Guapdad 4000, you know.
He's got guap, okay? So he's able to
4,000 of it.
If he had $4,000, he could buy a battery pack and not have a phone that's dying. Then Bass comes in, and I do admit that him on the lady jams makes a lot more sense than him on the high energy jams. But he's not opposed to the vagina because the girl's giving it to him, and he's cool with that. He's smoking marijuana until his eyes are closed. He wears sheepskin condoms, but he's the wolf. And I was like, hey, that's clever, because not a lot of people think about sheepskin condoms. We think about latex condoms, but then you can attach that to the wolf line, which is pretty cool. He's the poster child finessing the lion that's posing in clothing and lion, which makes sense because he goes back to the wolf line. And I was like, yo, this Bass is fucking sick. It's real good. Then young baby Tate comes on, and she's like, I fry 'em, I sizzle 'em, they biting, they nibbling, they lying, they fibbing it, they childish, they children. I'm like, what?
I actually liked her.
I mean, she sounds good, but I guess she's talking about some people that can't compete with her.
So what I understand from this song, and both Guapdad and Boss so far, Guapdad and Boss so far are kind of, what I'm understanding is that they're okay, Guapdad in the verse, I feel like, because he mentions that the girl's at a party on Molly, and he doesn't want her to hit him up right now. And that's how I'm interpreting it. So I feel like they're kind of dealing with a situation that they don't really want to deal with right now. And this situation is this woman. Boss kind of goes in, and he's giving his theory of like, you know, I don't really care if you're throwing a pussy around. I'm down for it. I'm doing this. And he's giving his interpretation of like what's kind of happening in the scenario. Then baby Tate comes in, and, you know, I fry them, I sizzle them, they bite in, they nibble it. I feel like she's playing that role of the girl who's at the party on the Molly being a boss woman. And she's kind of like giving off this persona where like, yo, I'm just killing shit out here. Like, guys want to fuck me. Guys want to be with me. This is what the deal is. And that's why you can't really hit her up right now, because she's busy doing her thing. Then we get the chorus again.
She calls them lying children who are not able, who are quiet, they whisper and they die, and I'm killing them, they dry, I'm dripping in, they crying, no tissue man. I guess, but I don't feel like she's on the Molly. I feel like she's just not as easily available.
I'm not saying that she's on the Molly. I'm saying she's just playing that role. Like, she's playing the role, because...
Just because Guapdad says that there's a girl at the Molly on the house party doesn't mean that all the performers on the song are playing the role that
I'm just saying, like, because then other than that, I mean, this sounds like a pretty simple song of everybody just going, this is why you can't talk to me because I'm busy.
Yeah, that sounds more generalized. That actually makes more sense, no?
Well, verse 3, buddies chasing money and fucking hoes. And verse 4, I wasn't impressed with Cozz on verse 4. I thought that.
Well, I mean, all Buddy's doing is making money. He's running. All of his girls are imported, sure. But in fact, his focus is completely money-centric.
Yes.
It has absolutely nothing to do with girls on Molly's. Then Cozz's verse.
Was
I
bland
say
and
a
boring.
prayer to bless mine. This ain't a quiz, don't test mine. I ain't been whiz, but I get high. You ain't. That's funny, because Wiz Khalifa, he gets high. You ain't a man till you get by. Yeah, I ain't tripping off of nothing. You know I'm gonna get it. Yeah, I ain't tripping off of nothing. You know that I'm winning. And then, hey, I got the chopper and sing like an opera. Yeah, Cozz's verse, I'll give it to you. It does. It's delivered very well, but it doesn't necessarily have the same schnaz as young baby Tate, who takes it in this song. Because while I don't 100% get what she's going on, the way she delivers it is pretty dope. Bass is my number 2, and then Buddy's my number 3 because Buddy's fucking fresh and he's fun. Cozz is my number 4 because honestly I'm not that into Guapdad 4000. He's fine. That was a lot of him. I kept thinking, man, buy a battery pack. Anyway. Or just don't pretend like your phone's dying. The Backstreet Boys made a whole song talking about how their phone was gonna die and they were faking it and shit. Anyway, I gave this song 4.25 because it's really it's a fun song to listen to, and I think it's cool, right? Because fun songs are also worth listening to, all things considered.
I give it a 4.3.
That's fine.
I liked everybody except for Cozz.
That's okay. I think one of the best songs on the album comes after this, and it's called Wells Fargo, which is a bank, in case you didn't know, especially those of you not on North America who've heard of Wells Fargo.
Father God in heaven above.
case you were all wondering, in the documentary, you do see the dude jumping, going, "Are you recording this? Are you shooting this off?" Like you see it, and they're all like jumping around.
Jid looks so happy. He's just like staring at the bike, like, "Oh my god!"
And this was like this was apparently like day 10 is how they had it. Like there was like right at the end of the session, and of course Buddy and Jid are killing it in my opinion. And they're doing these funny little voices like, "Excuse me, sir, your grace, is that my flamethrower beside you?" And they just kind of do this little goofy.
No, that's Earthgang. That's
Are you
Earthgang.
sure?
Yeah, it's Earthgang in the video.
Okay.
It's John. I'm pretty sure Johnny Venus is the.
You know, I don't really. It's two of them and they're really fucking fun. But voice was wise. I thought it was those guys. That's fine. I don't really know. But Guapdad's also on this song, and it could also be him.
Well, he's doing the chorus as well.
Anyway, so like they come in with this really fun intro, and they're like making fun of like British royalty kind of sounds of it, and it's just got this fun, goofy, airy feel to it, but it also has this high energy.
Johnny Venus is from Earthgang. Good. Okay. We can move on.
We knew that. I knew that. Maybe whatever. Either way, then all of a sudden you get this beautiful, fun, moshy feeling gang vocals. "Get my gun, we about to rob a Wells Fargo. Got some broads, we need to get a whole carload. With my dogs, we pull up looking like a car show.
It's like three
Smoke a
dudes
blunt,
rapping
and then we
right
get
now.
up
Like they're
on
just
my
all
narcos."
shouting.
It's 4 or 5 of them, man. It's like literally all of them gang vocals at the mic, recorded around in a circle, and it's fucking cool. And I really love the energy. Are you watching them all jumping in the video? And it makes you like the song even more.
I like Jid on the second chorus when he just like completely stops doing the chorus. He's just like, "Are y'all recording this?
Yeah, that's what I meant.
Are y'all getting this?"
And you see him doing it in the video, and it's fucking hilarious, man. Just to watch his passion and his raw energy and his excitement to be in that moment. But yo, Buddy's verse, he just kills it, man. I thought it was fucking fun. "Father God in heaven above, I come to you as humbly as I know how. Off header to draw something out my mind, and to mean I'm to smoke this loud, put this little acid thing on my tongue till the shit'll dissolve." And it just flows on through, and it's just fun to listen to. And then immediately Jid jumps in. He without saying cast the first stone, which is cool because it plays to the God thing that we just heard, which again has nothing to do with religion per se, but it does tie the two verses together, which is cool. "Told my person with the gun, he can run up in your home, one dumb shot. People will never look at him wrong. Get, oh my God, this thing."
That's really some boss shit, dude.
But it also just kind of doesn't necessarily feel like anybody's really putting a lot of thought into what's being said here.
Of course.
Everybody's really just trying to flow over this fun beat, and it's really cool.
But that really, I just want to talk about that line though. Like that really, he without sin cast the first stone. So it's like a hater, like somebody who has never done anything is starting to cast the first issue, right? And then because Jid ain't gonna get his hands dirty, he knows people who are gonna do it for him. That's some boss shit.
Fair enough.
Just wanted to point that out.
Then you get the chorus kicking back in, but I love the way he ends his verse with the young, fun, yum, 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 I'm twisted or whatever.
And then he goes into the chorus and he's like, "I don't even know what the fuck I said."
And basically it sounds like Amine, which I really think is cool because I like Amine. I don't know who did it first or the originator, but there's a few of them that kind of keep playing up on these sounds, and they all kind of sound similar, but they all sound amazing to me, but they also all sound distinct from each other when you hear their music.
Yep.
Then we got the Johnny Venus guy coming in. He's not my favorite on the song, but he's still pretty fucking fresh to listen to. And it brings a different twist on the energy on this because they're not as fast, but they're also equally as good and bring it in a different direction.
Well, I like how Johnny Venus kind of like gives his love to money. Yo, Vulture just fell off in the money. It's calling. I'm calling forever and ever to you. Taking the boxes of chocolate. I'll send them out, ship them out, get them delivered to you. Like, I like how he's really trying to make this like this metaphor connection of how money is like a woman, and he's trying to impress money by doing projects, music, and all these things so that he can attain money. Like, that was really, really cool how he did that.
And then Guapdad, who should be only and exclusively rapping about money because he is the father of Guap, he mentioned, anyway, throw the cash and she getting Raekwon like the Wu-Tang, and I'm like, that's pretty fucking cool the way he says that and just flows it. And I'm like, that's nice. I like that. I'm going to see Wu-Tang on Friday of next week, which is exciting for me personally. Me, you, and 2 or 3 hosts should go and do the group thing. Just don't fuck up the sheets, the Airbnb. I'm going to be going to my first Airbnb in August too, so I'm like all sorts of fun that I'm connecting to at Guapdad. I would love for the lady friend to get a couple of girls and we hop off to an Airbnb, and I'm feeling Guapdad I'm appreciating where you're coming from on this song. I'm with you. And then it's just fun and just has the chorus come in again. This shit's a 5. This is possibly my favorite song on the album. Like, it's so good. It's just a great energy. And it's short, but it's the funnest, most tightest, compactest. Like, everybody's having a good time, and J. Cole's not there to be like sleepy old man.
It's a 5.
On that note, sleepy old man sounds like J. Cole's sleep deprived.
Oh, tell me about it, my life be full of stress, fake niggas and sleep deprived like, dream.
I suppose one of the benefits of like this whole group project is getting exposed to a bunch of artists I never would have heard of. And I would say that Lute, Mez, and DaVionne and Omen are all people who honestly I never would have heard of if it wasn't for this project all put together. And that is the roster of this song. How do you feel about it?
I really like this concept of sleep deprivation that they're bringing to the table. I also like how it is 3 different, because I think, if I'm not mistaken, DaVionne does the chorus.
Yeah.
Okay. So I like how Lute, Omen, and Mez, they take 3 different experiences that could cause sleep deprivation, which I thought was really, 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 really cool. Lute, I feel, is expressing his pain from a past relationship and a friendship in kind of, but in a happy way. Like he's expressing how he kind of met this girl who wants to talk to him about his issues, which I found really, really cool. Like, he's really kind of connecting with this woman, and it's everything good, but I like how she's like he depicts her as sitting there and listening to what he's saying, and he's basically just being honest, like, these are the reasons why I'm sleep deprived. I like when he went, "'Cause see, hip-hop saved my life," is such a cliche quote, but before I grabbed the mic, I was the poster child for broke. Signed me off my first deal off the realest shit I wrote. Like, that's some really cool shit, and I really like how he acknowledges that hip-hop saving his life is a cliche, but it's like, it really kind of looks like that's what happened, you know. I guess from after listening to the verse, it's like I kind of relate to that, because hip hop is the reason why I'm still kind of doing certain things and I'm getting further in my life. And I don't think that if I ever started hip hop, I don't know where I would be, or I don't know what I would like, who I would be or whatnot. So I really can connect with that. The verse kind of follows suit, so that was also good. I really like Lute. I am interested to more things from him. He has like this nice little. I like how he gets a little very personal on a lot of his music, from a lot of the verses that we've gotten. Mez on verse 2 was really cool. I like how he made an Adventure Time rhyme. Had so many Adventure Times we used to run from Jake's. To make it for Southside, we do whatever it takes. That was cool. I really just quoted it because of the Adventure Time reference. That was cool, but I also know what Jake's mean, and those are cops, so... That was, I mean, no, honestly, if I didn't know what that meant, like, I would be like, I don't get this. But I do like that was the connection that he made, and that was interesting. I also like how he goes, all this shit gets so deep, man. I'm hoping y'all dive in. I don't fuck with surviving. I'm only thinking about thriving. But you, way too afraid. Yeah, I know what your vibe is. Always worried about me. This shit must be sleep depriving. And I really like how he touches upon that in 2 ways. One, as a fan, we're losing sleep over your album, over waiting on this, worried about what you're doing and whatnot. And he's kind of addressing it like, why y'all busy worrying about me and not doing your shit, right? And then on the other side, it's the same thing, like, take it not from a fan but from a hater, somebody who consistently is like, oh well, fuck this person, fuck Mez and blah 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 blah, and he's still kind of sitting there going like, again, why are you worried about what I'm doing when you can be doing your own shit and come meet me up here, you know? So I really like how he kind of had those, how I took it with those 2 interpretations from it. And then on verse 3, Omen, something that really, really stuck out to me was, wonder why ill intent was inside of your skin. Damn dookie braids, droopy ears. It was a groupie love, hurt feelings, no cap like bougie clubs. Sat alone deep in silence thinking about you getting sleep deprived. And yeah, and that really kind of stuck out to me, how in his verse he kind of is like expressing how he loves this girl and she's kind of fucking with him, and how she, like, I guess cheated on him or whatnot, or is like playing him. But I like how he threw in it was groupie love. Now I like how he's using that, because I kind of see it as, if you're a groupie, you really only like me because of who I am today. You don't actually know me. You know me as Chris Chrome. You don't know me as Christopher Johnson. So that's something that's like, that's something for me. He's kind of expressing like, wow, this girl wasn't really into me. She was really into like more materialistic, my money, my outings, and what I can bring to her because I'm this rich and whatnot. And having to deal with this because it seems like he's fallen in love with her. He's got some feelings. It's kind of like that's making him sleep deprived because why can't I have some genuine love? Why can't somebody just really want to be with me for me and not for what I have? But that really was a cool song. I really enjoyed it. I think the only thing that I have with it is that it's kind of a slower pace. The beat wasn't really like as exciting coming off of Wells Fargo. It was like, whoa, this is a complete change in a beat, complete change in like what type of vibe we're into now. But it was still a good song. And overall, it's still, I guess, I feel like it kind of crossed the message properly. And something I really enjoyed, and I'm finishing up here, was I felt like the ending of the track had a soft ending, like an old time movie. Like I just felt like I was kind of watching like a black and white movie, not anything modern. It took me back in time a little bit, and I felt like that was maybe a sonic theme that was through the whole song. Anyway, I left it with a 4.2.
I mean, I thought that this song was smooth, and the instrumental is really well made, and it really just carries it on through. Lute and everybody on top of it. It kind of like it is a very drastic shift from the almost moshing nature of the last song to like this calm, pensive, almost sad tale of the different pressures that is going on. You can almost imagine how they are sleep deprived, writing this song in the middle of the night. And this kind of just came out of them. But there was some I don't know, I feel like Lute's verse is cool, but it's not a whole lot outside of what you said that I think is super interesting. Like, same bitches in my DM used to take me for a joke. People talk crow shit behind my back and then comment bro. Like, bro, you gotta match one before you blow. I always leave the message of scene because I don't smoke. And then it's just kind of like, you know, now that he's moved on in the world, people don't necessarily treat him properly, and there's a lot of snakes who will essentially say whatever the fuck to your face and then talk a whole bunch of shits on you behind your back, no matter who you are, what tier of life you're at. So, you know, life is full of stress, fake people, and that's sleep depriving. That is the type of shit that can keep you up at night. And then Mez rolls on through with his verse, and again, it's the same, I don't know, it almost feels like it's the same kind of thing, like each one of them is almost describing how the haters and the stress and the fake people that they're encountering kind of keeps them up at night, into a sense. Although I do like the twist of how your obsession over my success must keep you up at night is a cool twist on that second verse and everything. But I like how he even points out how he used to be honor roll. And that's a cool brag in the middle of pointing out how successful and shit he is now. I like how he goes, remember us being younger, talking about getting signed to Nicole. I was so hot-headed then. I'm a lot calmer, though. Trying to buy me a brick house when I get Commodore. And that's cool, because I'm at that point in my life where when you get into your early 30s especially, you're going to calm down. It just happens, you know, like all the super angry passion of your youth fades as you start to rationalize means to productively move forward and take that passionate rage and turn it into something productive. Like, instead of maybe being mad at the world, go review some albums, get some learning on, and see what your life happens next when you have a guy like Scarface who insults your girlfriend on Twitter. I mean, that's a cool problem to have, right? Scarface dissing your channel is dope. That's so cool that Scarface even knows what the fuck up behind that suit even is. Yep. That's my life now. Anyway, that shit is a little bit stressing and sleep depriving to think that Scarface doesn't like us. Anyway, I like the line from Omen, turn into a big deal, but way realer than Black Friday. Because Black Friday is a bunch of fake specials. It used to be a cool thing. It's not a cool thing no more. Don't fall for the ruse, dog. That shit is orchestrated. There's even strategic plans of which things are supposed to go on specials on which day, but most of the things are not that good. There'll be like one or two maybe good things, but with the online world, man, Amazon Prime Day is as good as fucking, you know, all these things, they're all the same now. And because there's so many specials, Black Friday is kind of full of shit. So let that vision vibrate in your minds. I digress. He makes a little Bird Box line, which MGK made a Bird Box line 2 days ago. Not 2 days ago. Both their albums came out on the same day.
Well, 2 days when
For
you
me,
reviewed it, yeah.
which was yesterday even. I'm just kind of lost. But so I'm noticing that Bird Box is trendy, and that's the problem with trendy lines. Only MGK was in Bird Box. It's kind of okay for him to make references like that.
Wait, he was in Bird Box?
Yeah, he was.
Oh, I gotta
He's
watch
like,
it. I gotta watch it now.
Bonnie pulled me into the room, and she's like, "Look, he's having sex." I mean, that's what MGK does. He does that real well.
Yeah.
I don't know. I like when he's like, "I've been getting high, summer crime ever since. Wonder why ill intent was inside your skin. Damn, dookie braids, droopy eyes. It was groupie love." And then he pointed that out. And
Right.
the way he rhymes is real good. But this one to me is just a little bit less good than the ones I was giving 4.5. So I'm giving it a 4.35 on 5. It's cool. All right. We're almost at the halfway point of the album. And when you're not feeling very good about yourself, you need to look yourself in the mirror and go, Holden, you are the shit. You deserve some self-love.
All right, the song's called Self-Love.
And then, oh yeah, hi. So Ari Lennox is
really good.
talented singer, and Baby Rose is a really good singer, and Baz, man, I like him on the songs with the girls. This is for the ladies. This is not for the Holden. This song is not for him. It's very R&B and soft, and you got like the little snaps. Joe Budden would love this one. I bet, because I don't know if he's still on that R&B kick.
Yeah.
This is the one that Joe Budden will be calling the best song on the album.
He's gonna Joe Budden's gonna sit there in his kitchen staring out at the rain, watching the bushes.
Self-love is the best love. See,
I love that podcast.
is the worst drug.
God. They have to come to Montreal. I want to see them.
And then so you watch they sing, and it's very beautiful, you know, and their lyrics are great. I said tired of being cordial, tired of being normal, tired of being forced in, tied up in the moment. Super beautiful, super good.
But I like how they're being empowering to women though, and like bringing this light to the table and speaking up for this.
Yeah, I'm tired of people having their fake ass love, and I'm gonna learn to love myself because your love is awful for me and it's not good. Baby Rose is tired of all the faking, wearing all this makeup, and meanwhile feeling complacent. Personally, I'm into it when girls don't wear makeup. I like that natural shit. Show me those wrinkles on your face. Let me know you're not 18 no more. Meanwhile, feeling complacent, fitting in, feeling basic. And I like, again, that like honesty of what it feels like to be a woman trying to like fit into a situation and morph yourself into somebody who doesn't appreciate you for who you are in shape. And then here comes Baz, and he's got a very nice verse. Take it in vain. This pain is a feeling we can't ignore. Dealer man, hand me more. A baby in a candy store. I got secrets. I can't just leave tour.
I like that. I like how he's interpreting that we're addicted to pain and that we have struggle with learning how to self-love because we kind of find love in other people, and we know that.
But
I say we know, but like I feel like he's kind of saying like we know that if we go into these things, we're just gonna get hurt, but we kind of want to get hurt. But it's
also like he has his career that's pulling him away, and it kind of alludes like maybe he's playing a little bit dirty on the road, and he's got a couple of secrets he's amassed because, you know, that one night he got a little too drunk and there were 3 hotties and he went ahead and did a thing. And then the costume of my art, we growing apart, you growing alright, stuck in the door of my state, I carry my Gemini traits, I bury my face. And then it's cool. It's like it flows to the end of we were like, let's do the break, cuz, and then it pointed out that, like, you know, we gotta find love for ourselves and whatnot, because depending on each other in the way that the relationship's morphing isn't gonna work. And what I like about that is the honesty in it all, because I know that the person I was at 22 is very different than the person I was at 27, who's actually still very different than the person I am at 31. And you either grow with a person or you depend on a person. And in a lot of cases when you're young, you depend on people. You don't really form proper relationship bonds or like the foundational shit that allows y'all to like become independent people moving together. And so your relationship turns toxic or problematic, and then you find yourself requiring the need for self-love, all things considered. So I thought it was a really honest and beautiful song, but so something I'm not into while being really like well made. So I'm gonna give it a 4.15 because like it's a good song. I would skip this every single time I went through this album, because unlike Joe Budden, I almost never seek out this kind of music, and if I did, there's just a lot of other stuff out there, I think. This one was, well, like I said, it's well made, but totally not for me, but it belongs on this project to give that kind of inclusive feel for like everybody out there to have a little bit of something for them.
I gave it a 4.2. I think it was good. I think it really I think it did its purpose. Like, Boz is on here, I think, to attract the male audience, but it's really for the female audience. And I really, really like how they took the time out of all of these rappers and all of the music we still have to go through. They took the time to really address, like, let's call it insecurities, let's call it experiences and situations that women have to go through and that women might have to deal with, and then adding Boz just a little bit in terms of like just a more of a generic situation.
He's just the guy that they're talking about, and he's sorry, and he kind of appreciates it.
4.2.
All right, so before we move on to the next song, which is all about them ladies, we're going to cut this part one because we're halfway through the album. It's been a bit, and we still got a whole other half of the album. And like we said, we're testing out this 2-part format, so let us know what you think. If we should run it for a whole thing, which would maybe be a good hour more that we'd have to do still, or do you prefer it in 2 chunks like this? I mean, YouTube prefers it in 2 chunks like this, and the numbers, we're going to test it out and see what y'all think, because at the end of the day, the numbers will tell us the truth of the situation. But if you did dig what we're doing here, you dig the first half of this review, let us know in the comments, hit that like button, subscribe to this channel, and so you can be notified when part 2 comes out, which should be real soon after part 1 is done, because we're recording them at the same time. And yeah, let us know what you think, anything that you have in feedback, what you excited about. And yeah, special thanks to the patrons: Ismail Gadamsi, Chris Prado, Jonathan Barnes, DJ Black Hurricane, Linda Williams. They support what we do, helped us get a new camera, get to tell us what albums to review sometimes. Like tomorrow we're going to be recording DJ Black Hurricane's request, and for $1 or more a month you can support us and watch us grow into something cool like a Sean C or a Dead End Hip Hop or one of these bigger channels. Notice I didn't say the Melon. We also make music. You can check that out on the channel. That would be dope of you. Let us know what you think. And yeah, we'll get back to you real shortly. We're going to go record part 2 now. Have a wonderful day, night, week, year, whatever the hell you're watching this. If it's like 2027, let us know. Peace.